Again, even if A Nice Guys 2 were to be made, it hardly even matters because it would be up against Batman vs. Super Dick 7, Trindles of Dog Shit, and people would waste all their money on it. What is up, dudes? It's Jeremy. Today I wanted to do a video that's a little bit different than a lot of things that I've done, but this is just an issue, something that I've thought about for a while that's definitely going on, and I feel like we've seen the most of it this year. Now the two movies that I want to talk about, my prime examples here, are Popstar, Never Stop Never Stopping, and The Nice Guys. Both of which I've already done reviews for, both of which I really enjoyed. So I sat on this for a long time before I decided to make this video, to make sure that I wasn't just being super biased, and I could still be a little bit, but I've at least looked into it and have a little bit more information than I did when I first saw those movies. Now, both of those films, well received by critics, well received by audiences, and yet financially they both bombed. And it just really bugs me, really makes me wonder why. Why are we as consumers, why are they as producers not taking more chances with people that, you know, have a good reputation and have the ability to make these great films that we're all gonna see on Netflix, or even worse, Crackle in 6 months. We're gonna see them, we're gonna watch them, we're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that movie was so good. Why did that do terrible? I'll get into some numbers, and when you see some of these numbers, maybe it'll make a little bit more sense. Alright, so the first one, Popstar, Never Stop Never Stopping. First of all, Popstar was filmed on a budget of $20 million. Box office, $9.5 million. Half. Less than half. That's awful. The Nice Guys, a little bit bigger of a budget, $50 million. But their box office was $56 million. I mean, they still didn't make anything. I understand that number's more, but there's other financial happenings that aren't, you know, listed on here within the budget. So they still lost money on that. Like, now let me go back here, okay, and let's check out reviews for Popstar. Metacritic, 68%. That's like my go-to. Rotten Tomatoes, 76%. Rotten Tomatoes is usually pretty harsh, so I think that's pretty good. IMDb, 7 out of 10, whatever. Nice Guys, 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Okay, 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 70% on Metacritic. So we all agree that they're good movies. We just didn't agree by paying for the tickets to go see these movies, apparently. Now, let's take a look at some of the other movies that have released this year, okay, 2016. This is the big one. Everybody, you know, there's been a lot about this. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Budget, $250 million. Box office, $871 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. That must be a really good movie. Let's see what the reviews are. Rotten Tomatoes, 27%. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes is usually pretty harsh. Metacritic, 44%. Okay, so we all agree that it was a terrible movie. Alice Through the Looking Glass, another sequel, by the way. Budget, $170 million. Box office, $250 million. Okay, must be decent, right? Rotten Tomatoes, 29%. 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. I don't have the Metacritic pulled up. But again, I think it's fair to say we all agree, pretty terrible movie. Zoolander 2. Budget, $50 million. Box office, $56 million. Okay, that directly matches Nice Guys. So they must be like a similar caliber, right? Rotten Tomatoes, 24%. IMDb, 4.8 out of 10. Don't have the Metacritic. But again, I think we can all agree, it was a terrible movie. It shouldn't have been made. Independence Day. This one's a little bit unfair because it's still out right now. But just looking at, this is taken on Friday. This would be the Friday, 1 week after release. Budget, $165 million. Box office, $252 million. That's a lot of money. Must have been alright, right? Rotten Tomatoes, 30%. Metacritic, 32%. 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Wow, another crap film. Alright, this next one's really important, okay? Because the thing with Popstar and the thing with The Nice Guys is they're both comedy films. And for a while I thought maybe that's what set them back. Ride Along 2 also came out this year in January. Budget, $40 million. Alright, not too steep. A couple of big names, you know, just like these other movies. Kevin Hart, Ice Cube. Box office, $124 million. Tripled. Wow, what a successful film. Rotten Tomatoes, 15%. No. IMDb, 5.9 out of 10. So another crap film. Tripled it. And I think it's fair to say we're on the tail end of the golden age of Kevin Hart. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, he's still big, but I don't think he's just as big as he was like a couple years ago, like when Ride Along, the first one, released. Again, the reason I throw that one in there, I think it's a big deal because it's a comedy. The other two movies were comedies, they were advertised as comedies. I don't think, I understand that that's going to set it back a little bit from like breaking records at the box office, but I don't think that it's fair to say it sets itself back that much because it's a comedy. All right, so what do we learn when we look at those numbers, okay? We learn that people don't respond to good reviews. They don't respond to word of mouth. What they do respond to is logos, DC logos, Kevin Hart's face, nostalgia sequels, and things like that. That's what people are responding to. We gave Zack Snyder $250 million to make the Batman vs Superman movie. Okay, pretty big deal. Did anybody read the screenplay first? Because the resolution between Batman and Superman literally revolves around the fact that their mothers have the same name. Sorry, spoilers. I just ruined the movie for you. And here's the thing, I don't hate Zack Snyder. Watchmen is like one of my favorite comic book adaptations. Probably you just threw my credibility right out the window, but I really enjoyed that movie. And I do enjoy Zack Snyder to an extent, but I thought that movie was absolute garbage. I didn't go see it in theaters. I waited for the Ultimate Edition because I heard that was supposedly going to clear up a lot of things that the theatrical release left out, and the Ultimate Edition was also garbage. Just slightly better than like hot garbage. I feel like we should be at a point where we're not going to shell out 10, 20 bucks, however much your theater costs, to see a movie just because, oh, it's got Batman, or it's got Superman. I feel like the trailer, with that one specifically, made it really obvious it was going to be a poop film. Alright, so that's us. As moviegoers, maybe that's where we're screwing up. But at the same time, maybe we think that we're being safe with our money because of high ticket prices. I think that's a valid point. So the majority of the money from ticket sales is what goes to the studio. The money from concessions, that goes to the theater primarily, so that's irrelevant. But ticket prices, which are incredibly steep, that's what leads me to believe we're just going to see the movie that we think we're going to get the most bang for our buck, based on the trailers and other things that are released that tell us, hey, this movie's got a bunch of effects, it's got an all-star cast, such as Batman vs Superman, so that's where you're going to make your money. I also believe that that's partly, why television series are on such a huge rise, because, oh, you don't feel like, spending that money to go see a blockbuster? Sure thing. We've got a bunch of stuff that you can watch right here on your couch. It's almost as great of a story, as big of a story, and that kind of thing. That's where I think the studios are failing us as moviegoers. They're failing the filmmakers. They're just failing in general. Alright, now, I want to bring this back around to those first two movies that I was talking about, okay? Popstar and The Nice Guys. With The Nice Guys, Shane Black went through a ton of crap to get this movie made. It took him forever, way longer than he anticipated. Now, when he finally got it made, I feel like he nailed it. He did really, really well. But financially, the movie didn't do well, which is only going to stop it from getting a sequel. Now, I don't hate all sequels. I'm not saying that just because. I'm just sick of sequels and reboots that their selling point is the fact that they're a sequel or a reboot. Their selling point should be that it's a good film, and that's why I should go spend my $10, $20 on it. Again, even if A Nice Guys 2 were to be made, it hardly even matters, because it would be up against Batman vs Super Dick 7, Trindles of Dog Shit. And people would waste all their money on it, and Nice Guys 2 would do just as poorly, if it maybe a little bit better than The Nice Guys. Yes, Shane Black made movies before The Nice Guys. He'll make movies after The Nice Guys, but that's not the point. And let's go back to Popstar. Like I said, it was filmed on a budget of $20 million. The movie sets itself up. You're following, this fictional celebrity. But in the movie, he's got a mansion. He's doing these stadium shows, all these things. Like, it wasn't a cheaply made, poorly made film. Alright, now let's take a look at some other movies that were filmed on a budget of $20 million. What's Your Number? All-star flick. Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Mortal Kombat. I actually like that because it's bad, but that's not the point. Are We There Yet? Another Ice Cube phenomenal film, and White Chicks. I mean, come on. That Terry Crews scene is pretty funny, but White Chicks is still a garbage film. Alright, now I can admit these two movies aren't the best. They may not even be the best examples, but I think they work. They work in different ways, and they should have done so much better. This is why we can't have nice things. Maybe the marketing didn't reach you or something of that nature. My whole point is, there's a few original releases that do well every year, but there should be more. There are more out there, and they should be doing a lot better than they are. Again, we as consumers should take more chances and not waste our money on something that we think might be better, even though every single fiber in our body is telling us it's going to be awful. The reviews say it's awful. The trailer looks awful. I keep looking at Batman vs Superman. But anyways, my point is, we should be taking more chances with these films that, hey, you know what, this looks interesting. Even if you go see it at a secondhand, like, beer theater that it only costs $5, just go see it there. It's better than nothing. Maybe I'm a nutball. Maybe not. Let me know what you're thinking. Like I said, let me know if I'm completely lost and I'm driving myself crazy for no reason. That's all I got, dudes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.